Hello, boys and girls, and welcome back to Art Class with Mr. Mazer. This week, we're going to read one of my ultimate favorite stories, Iggy Peck, Architect, by Andrea Beatty. And after the story, you're going to become an architect and build your very own treehouse. So let's get started. Iggy Peck, Architect. Young Iggy Peck is an architect and has been since he was 2, when he built a great tower in only an hour with nothing but diapers and glue. "Good gracious, Ignatius," his mother exclaimed, "that's the coolest thing I've ever seen." But her smile faded fast as a light wind blew past and she realized those diapers weren't clean. "Ignatius, my son, what on earth have you done? That's disgusting and nasty. It stinks." But Iggy was gone. He was out on the lawn, using dirt clods to build a great sphinx. When Iggy was 3, his parents could see his unusual passion would stay. He built churches and chapels from peaches and apples, and temples from modeling clay. At dinner one night, to his father's delight, Iggy got a bright gleam in his eye, and out on the porch built a St. Louis arch from pancakes and coconut pie. Dear Ig had it made until 2nd grade, when his teacher was Miss Lila Greer. On the very first day, she had this to say: "We do not talk of buildings in here." Gothic or Romanesque, I couldn't care less about buildings ancient or new. She said in her lecture about architecture that it had no place in grade 2. That might seem severe, but she was sincere, for when she was no more than 7, she'd had a great fright at a dizzying height in a building so tall it scraped heaven. On an architect's tour of the 95th floor, young Lila got lost from the group. She was found 2 days later in a stuck elevator eating cheese with a French circus troupe. After that day, it's quite safe to say she thought all building lovers were nuts. As a teacher, she taught that, above all, one ought to avoid them. No ifs, ands, or buts. As you might guess, it would cause Iggy stress to hear such terrible talk. But he didn't hear. He sat in the rear while building a castle of chalk. "You, Iggy Peck, your desk is a wreck. Tear down that castle right now. You will not build in here, is that perfectly clear? Do you need to see Principal Howe?" "No, ma'am," Iggy said. He lowered his head, and his heart sank down to the floor. With no chance to build, his interest was killed. Now 2nd grade was a bore. After 12 long days that passed in a haze of reading, writing, and arithmetic, Miss Greer took the class to Blue River Pass for a hike and an old-fashioned picnic. They crossed an old trestle to a small island nestled in the heart of a burbling stream. But they no sooner passed than the footbridge collapsed and Miss Greer started to scream. "We're trapped here, oh my! Alas, kids, goodbye!" Her eyeballs rolled back in her head. She dropped to the ground with a vague groaning sound, luckily fainted, not dead. The class was amazed. They stood there quite dazed, uncertain of what they should do. But one bright young man was off hatching a plan which started with Miss Lila's shoe. Soon each lad and lass there at Blue River Pass was working together as one. And when she came to, Miss Lila Greer knew that something quite brave had been done. She looked in the air and saw hanging there a structure with cables and braces. And on the far side, beaming with pride, were 17 smiling young faces. Boots, tree roots and strings, fruit roll-ups and things, some of which, one should not mention, were stretched ridge to ridge in a glorious bridge dangling from shoestring suspension. It all became clear to Miss Lila Greer as she crossed that bridge over the stream. There are worse things to do when you're in grade 2 than to spend your time building a dream. Now every week at Blue River Creek, elementary and second grade, all the school kids can hear, along with Miss Greer, how the world's greatest buildings were made. The weekly guest speaker in t-shirt and sneakers talks of buildings from Rome to Quebec. Of course, he's the guy who builds towers from Pi, that brilliant young man, Iggy Peck. So, we are going to construct our own little buildings today. So you're going to need a paper and something to draw with. I'm going to draw with a Sharpie for contrast. And something to color with. Crayons would be good. So, to begin our drawing, we're going to start with a square. I'm going to go into the middle of the paper and draw three sides of a square. So I'm going to start here, go across, and up, just like that. This is going to be the beginning of my treehouse. Now, I'm going to draw another line, not in the middle. I'm going to go over just a bit, and it should be just equal with this side. Now, inside here, I'm going to make the door to my treehouse. So I'm going to go make a nice long rectangle, go up, across, and down. And I'm going to make a nice window on this side. So I'm going to make kind of like an L shape here. And then an upside down L over there. So now I've got a door and a window for my tree house. Now over here, I'm going to make a V that connects these two lines here. So upside down V. So I'm going to go up and down. Now, before I continue with that, I'm going to make a little line here and a little line there. And I'm going to connect those with another upside down V. This is going to make our roof look nice and thick so it can withstand any kind of rain that comes down. So next, I'm going to draw a line, a horizontal line that goes across. I'm not going to draw all the way to this point. I'm going to draw it a little shorter, maybe to about there. And then I'm going to connect this. Oh, I'm going to draw a little line up, and I'm going to connect these two lines. I'm going to go from there to there, and there to there. And then I'm going to connect and finish my roof off right here, going down, just like that. Okay, so now the tree house is complete. So we're gonna make a little platform for our tree house to stand on. So I'm gonna go a little bit outside here and extend this line a little bit farther. That's so when we step out of the tree house, we don't fall down. There needs to be a little platform there for us to stand on. And I'm gonna draw two little lines and connect those with another horizontal line. Now I'm going to make the tree that my tree house is built on. So I'm gonna go here. I'm gonna make a nice long line. It's gonna bow out just a teeny bit because you know how trees get wider as they go towards the base, the bottom. Then I'm gonna do that on this side too. So I'm gonna make a straight line and bow out just a bit, just like that. Now I'm going to make kind of a jagged, uneven zigzag line for grass along the bottom here. I'm going to do that all the way across. Leave a little bit of room there. And just like Iggy Peck did in his story, I'm going to add some braces over here. That's going to help support our treehouse and keep this whole platform up. So I'm going to draw two diagonal lines right next to each other. There's one. And here's two. All right, now we're gonna need the top of the tree. So I'm gonna make some cloud lines, or it's kind of look like popcorn to me too. So I'm going to start over here on the side of the tree. And it looks more realistic if you do them uneven. If you do some really big and some small, then it starts to look more like a real tree. And I'm going to do that same kind of cloud popcorn line over here. And I'm going to do one up here on the top. So I'm going to start at the roof of my treehouse. Do another little cloud line here. Now I'm going to draw a little tree branch in this one to make it look a little more realistic. So I'm going to add a kind of like a cloud line or a wave line. So we're going to go up like this. See how it looks kind of like a wave of the ocean. I'm going to draw the branch. So I'm going to draw kind of a jagged or more jagged line over here. And another jagged line over this way. And then I'm going to make 2 V's to create some branches. So I'm going to go down and up, and there's 1 V. Down and up, there's 2 V's. And you see how those look like branches that are holding my tree up. Now I'm going to add a couple more popcorn lines or cloud lines. Make my tree look nice and full. Add one there. I'm going to do one over here too. And the final thing, we're going to need some way to get up into our treehouse, so we're going to do a rope ladder. So I'm going to draw a straight line coming down here. And I'm going to draw one real close to it right here. And then connect them. It's got a real long skinny rectangle. And I'm going to do one over here even with it. So go all the way down. And another one right next to it. Now we're going to need the rings of our ladder to get up there. So we're going to draw parallel lines horizontally. So I'll do 2 and then leave a little space and draw 2 more. 2 more. And we're going to take this all the way down to the ground. So we got a way to get up into our treehouse. And now our treehouse is finished. So you can go in and color it if you want to add any texture to the tree, make it look bumpy or smooth. That would be really good. Make it look very realistic. So you're the artist, so you get to choose. And you can see in the picture attached how I colored mine. So I hope you have fun being an architect this week and building your treehouse. And we'll see you next time.